Hello, everybody. Welcome to the live Q&A. Great to have you all here today. We've got a bit of a different setup today. No lights as it gets real hot in here, so natural lighting for the folks wondering. Troy will be coming in at 2:10 to give a global status update on all the outstanding shipments as well as future shipments, and our mechanic, Jason, at 2:45 p.m. So any mechanic-related questions, we'll probably be saving those for Jason, but please prepare them for when he comes in. Today, we're going to answer any questions you've got about the baby maker, shipping, electric bikes in general. So let's get right into it. I'm waiting for the questions to roll in. So far, nothing. That means hopefully that everybody's got their bikes, but I'm sure more questions will be rolling in. More people have their bikes than last week and every week moving forward. I'll give a quick summary from yesterday's production update. The highlights, C19, T61, T62, all of those have shipped out from FedEx. That was 504 baby makers. And on those shipments, somebody was mentioning they didn't receive any tracking or anything like that from FedEx, but they were on the shipment. We wait typically to receive tracking from FedEx before we can upload it. Sometimes it can take a few days. So sometimes there's a little bit of a lag from the time FedEx labels them and ships them out to the time we get the tracking number and actually input it into Indiegogo. Troy, I'm sure, is going to update us on the status of those tracking numbers. C20 and T7-1 are now stateside. They are awaiting processing and fulfillment. That's 282 baby makers. T7-2, 7-3, C21, C22 are ETA Long Beach next week. 861 baby makers total. A lot of baby makers incoming. Very exciting. Michael says, we missed you Saturday in San Francisco. Michael, I wish I could have come. It looked like such a fun ride, and you had a great crew out there in San Francisco. Eugene linked up with some guys there in San Francisco. Michael went all the way from SoCal up there as well for a Golden Gate ride on the Baby Makers. It looked totally awesome. You can see photos from it in the official Baby Maker owners group. All right, moving on with the update highlights. NL4 and UK3 have arrived at the UK Fulfillment Center. That's 260 Baby Makers. Spain 8 is to arrive in the UK on June 9th. That's 144 Baby Makers. And big news for us is C12, which has components to continue building Baby Makers in Spain. That has completely cleared Spanish customs. So as you know, our past shipments, the containers have been very slow to clear customs. This one cleared with no issues. Very exciting for the folks in Europe. LVL are almost completely shipped. We're just left with a handful of orders to special places, island countries, for example, or locations where it's traditionally very hard to ship bikes. There's a lot in South America too, where it's just very challenging with customs and the shipping routes as well, considering their great distance from the factory. So those we continue to work on, but LVL is virtually complete with the exception of those special cases. Challenges for the week, carriers for the EU. So now that we're fulfilling EU bikes out of our UK bonded warehouse, we do new carriers to ship from UK back into the EU. That's been moving a bit slower than we'd hope, as Troy will probably update us on in a bit. So he's been working to secure a carrier there or multiple carriers to do the job, and it's just taken a little bit longer than expected to finalize the details there. Here things move very fast, but our experience so far in Europe is that it can take quite a bit longer to finalize things. Just a note on that, a lot of people have been mentioning, hey, it seems crazy that we're building the bikes in Europe, shipping them into the UK, and then back into Europe. Obviously, on the surface, doesn't sound like the most efficient process, and I'm totally agreed with that. You know, we want to do things as efficiently as possible. And in fact, the decision to build bikes in Europe, that was a decision to save you guys money because there are anti-dumping taxes for products produced in China. Once it gets to Europe or the UK, there's a 50% anti-dumping tax that can be levied on bicycle products from China. So to save you guys massive duties there, that's why we went and took on the extra cost to build these in Europe for you. In a similar fashion, the accountants have let us know that we need to ship them to the UK and then back into Europe to minimize or eliminate further duties for folks in the EU. So all of this, we're trying to save you guys money here. It's not for our health. It's not fun. It's a lot of work, actually, for the whole team here. Troy's working his ass off on it with the goal of being good to you guys and saving you money. All right, we've got a few questions here. Let's see what we got. Jorge, hi, Rob. I need your help. My bike was sent on the 23rd of April, and CTS has not sent it to the Canary Islands yet. Your support states that your COO is trying to fix this issue, but no news yet. Jorge, I'm going to save that for Troy, who is probably more queued up on this particular matter. So let me just copy that down, Jorge. I've heard mention of a bike for the Canary Islands and challenges there, but I don't know the specifics on that. So I've written that down, and I'm going to save that for Troy. Ding. Hi, Rob. Concerned about Spain being Franco-free now. Who will be overlooking all things production, and how will quality control be managed, please? Ding, that's a great question. So we do have specific quality control processes and standards laid out, and this factory actually has done a very good job. We also have multiple facilities producing in China. One of those facilities, we've got a guy on the ground there who works for us, who's always supervising, and the other one is completely unsupervised, and the quality coming out of the unsupervised one is typically higher than the supervised one. So it really depends on facility whether we need somebody full-time on the ground there or not. Some of them, we can just let them go and trust in their processes and standards. The place where we're producing in Spain, fantastic quality. They actually build motorcycle frames for some of the top brands. They're really, really good at it. Franco there was a big asset, especially just putting pressure on for customs and things like that. But overall, in terms of quality control, we haven't needed much from him there. Awake and Sleeper question. I'm in Los Angeles. What's the average ship days from when the container ship docks in Long Beach to delivery? Trying to plan a road trip, but I wasn't. I want to make sure I'm home for delivery. Awake and Sleeper, that is a challenging question because it always varies based on one, port congestion, two, customs, and then three, how long it takes to get a truck from customs to our fulfillment center. And then one more variable is how long it takes them to label those bikes and get them out. So typically from the time it ports, we're looking at around 2 weeks' time. Within about 2 weeks' time, in general, it can be longer and it can be faster. But I would say very conservatively, about 2 weeks. Manu, hello, Rob. T6-1, still no tracking information. Manu, I'm going to ask Troy about that. He'll be in here in just a couple minutes. And Jorge mentions, I don't know where my bike is as of today. Great. I'm going to append that to your earlier question, Jorge. And Jorge says, I'll pay extra for shipping if that's the issue. Thank you, Jorge, for the offer. We'll get to the bottom of this and figure out exactly where the challenge is with the Canary Island shipment. Jorge, are you in the Canary Islands? Just to clarify. It sounds like it. All right. Jam Bomus. Hey, Rob, my Indiegogo contribution ID is 13880. Due for the UK is July, the estimated delivery time. Jam Bomus, the target delivery time for all orders is by the end of July 31st. Your order ID is towards the end of all of our Indiegogo contributions. So you're towards the end of the list there for Indiegogo. Relative to all the other orders, you will be towards the end, just based on that order number. Our target, July 31st, is very tight for UK and EU right now. As we've mentioned before, due to some custom slowdowns, etc., we're looking at a very tight timeline. It's going to be tough to pull it off. It's still possible, but everything needs to go very, very, very smoothly for that to happen. For the U.S. and other locations, we're right on target. That shouldn't be an issue at all. Jorge, got it. I'm going to write that down. In Santa Cruz de Tenerife, Canary Islands. Got you. Ching Pun, any more touring kits on the way besides C21? Let me check. Let me see what we've got here. Touring kits. If I got anything written down. I would have said it in the video if I do have it. I don't have anything written down for that. I would check the latest video that I put out. I'll have the information for touring kits or what bikes are on there. I think we do have multiple shipments with touring kits. One that's processing now and one that's on the water. But I can't remember the exact container number. James, between the Indiegogo campaign and web sales, roughly how many Baby Maker have been sold in the U.S.? James, I don't know offhand. I think Indiegogo was around 9,000. I haven't got the total number between the two platforms. We do try and keep some of that information confidential just because there's a lot of folks out there trying to copy what we're doing, but they'll never have the mojo, never have the secret sauce on the Baby Maker. Hey. All right, we've got a visitor in the house. Troy, I left the lights off just for you.
A little mood lighting?
Yeah.
Good mood lighting? Or
all right.
Bad mood lighting? I look like I have a tan.
Yeah, you're looking real tan
Looks
today.
like I get outside once in a while.
Here, if you could approach a little bit
A
closer.
little closer?
No.
To you or the microphone?
On national What's today's holiday? Let's not even bring it up. All right.
No.
All right, Troy. How are you doing today?
Busy.
Busy.
Always busy.
How's the move to the UK fulfillment center been treating you?
That one has been a toughie. We've been working on that. That's a daily thing. We're trying to get that wrapped up because we have a lot of bikes that once we get this done, there's gonna be a lot of bikes moving across Europe. So that's the exciting part. You want me to talk louder?
I had your microphone off.
Oh, really?
Yeah, good friend.
Wow.
Sorry about that. All right, Troy, how you
Should
doing
I start
today?
over? Should I start with the I look like I have a tan part, or should we move on?
Let's move on.
Yeah, no, the getting the carrier service arranged for Europe has been a challenge. We've been working on it a daily basis, trying to wind that one up. I think we're almost there. The carrier we had that we have for UK, we can't use for Europe. We could have up until Brexit, and that kind of precluded us doing that. So we're working on that. Again, I don't know if you heard it before, but the good news is we have a lot of bikes that are sitting right now waiting to fulfill into Europe. So, and now we're doing the mixed loads here. So there isn't a EU or a NL for Netherlands. Of course, there is no Netherlands, but there's no EU and UK. They're all going together. All of them have both plugs in them, so we can fulfill in either location, and they can go both ways. So the UK 3 is actually, I just sent, that's 117, 116 bikes. We've had like 79 people pay their VAT. I just sent the shipping labels to Big Web Warehouse today, so they will start pulling those, and those will start moving tomorrow, and probably will start delivering as early as Friday. So if you've paid your VAT, look, you will. We did have an issue with emails not coming out of Tufnell's. We had several meetings on that. We've gotten that resolved. So you should be seeing emails out of Tufnell's that tell you when it's shipped, when it's estimated to deliver, and when it also delivers. So that will be much improved. If you are in UK3 and you haven't paid your VAT, pay your VAT so I can send you your bikes. We really want to move these things along. And SP8 actually is arriving tomorrow, and we will send out VAT letters because I think roughly a third of those are also going to be UK fulfillment. So we'll put the VAT letters out for those, and we'll move those along also. Kind of jumped into Europe, didn't I? So while we're there, we talked about UK3, we talked about SP8. NL4 is sitting, unfortunately, and waiting until we get a carrier. A bunch of you have, or all of you for NL4 have your address verifications. I've seen some address changes on that. As soon as we get the carrier arranged, we will take care of that. That's 144 bikes that are strictly for Europe. Again, about 2/3 of this next load of 144 bikes are also for Europe. And SP9, still waiting. I don't think we had, I think on the update you said either late this week or early next week. Looks like that will be early next week that will ship out. That if you have a Pro 23 green upper, you're going to be happy because there's a whole bunch of them on there. And also we're going to start flowing through the bikes from container 12. Since that is now fully cleared, everything is moved out and into the Spain factory, and that is a ton of sterlings in that.
All right, I got a question for you.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to break it up a little bit. All right, this is from Jorge in the Canary Islands. He says, I need your help. My bike was sent 23rd of April, and CTS has not sent it to the Canary Islands yet. Your support states that your COO is trying to fix the issue, but no news yet. And I don't know where my bike is as of today.
Okay. That's all. Let me, Jorge Garcia. Let me follow up on that one. I know that we had given some information. We've actually fulfilled a bike to the Canary Islands, so I'm not sure why that is being such an issue. But we'll go back through and I'll follow that up. I'll follow up with our COO, figure out exactly what the issue is. But we'll get that one going. Our apologies. Sometimes logistics gets a little wonky, but we fulfilled to other places, Mallorca, Jersey and Guernsey, and some of those places. So we should be able to get to the Canary Islands also. And I think that's different than Mallorca. If I'm wrong, then again, American knowledge of geography strikes again.
Great.
More questions? Or should
One
we-
more question
Okay.
for you. T6-1, this is from Manu.
Yeah.
Still no tracking information. What's the status on that?
Okay, so we'll jump into that one. So we've talked about kind of global logistics issues. Mostly it's been about sea containers and that type of thing. Unfortunately, it kind of struck us at the FedEx freight facilities. So they have been slow getting T6-1 out. And T6-2, I just had to redo the labels. We had a corrupted label file. Rather than have them try and sort through and figure out what happened, we send these off in a CSV file. It's happened before. I didn't want them to sort through and try and figure out which labels were good. I told them just dump them all, and I just generated all new labels for T6-2. So those will start flowing. That has been a delay. They've been here since last week and have not been moving. But T6-1 will be moving. That was processing this morning. I have a weekly call with FedEx Freight on that. And T6-2, I just cut the labels. We want to make sure these go in the right places because we've had a little snafu before where we had some bikes go the wrong place, and the cleanup is about 20 times the work of actually doing it right in the first place. So we want to make sure you get the right bikes. So sorry for the delay, but FedEx Freight's also been kind of overloaded a little bit. Also, the ground container situation, and I think we talked before about the lack of chassis, so they can't even pick up containers on a timely basis. They're actually charging us extra to go get containers. It's crazy. So the logistics issues continue. I mean, they're kind of end to end throughout the entire chain, unfortunately. So that's what's up with T6-1. Stay tuned, it's coming. Again, when they cut the labels, you'll see label created. That label doesn't get active until it transfers to the ground system. So when they scan it in the ground, all of a sudden it'll throw an actual decent estimated delivery date. When they first generate a label, it usually says you'll have it tomorrow. That's not a good date. That's just kind of a placeholder date they put in there. So when you see label created and you see a delivery date, you can disregard that delivery date. But again, FedEx Ship Manager, go on there, sign up, get all the text things, exceptions, delivery, estimated delivery date, all of that. You can sign up for all that and know exactly where your package is. And you want to do that so that you know when the thing is showing up and there's no surprises. It gets more accurate as it goes through the chain. So if you're on the East Coast and you're seeing the things gone through a hub in Indiana, well, your dates are getting better and better. When it first leaves Los Angeles, those dates are, unless it's close by, those dates are probably not that accurate, but they'll get more accurate as it gets closer and closer to the destination.
Okay, so
Long explanation.
Thank you, Troy. In the update that I posted yesterday, I said that T6-1 shipped out from FedEx. I also said that in the video. Is that not true?
It's shipping today. Yeah, I pushed them on that today because that was supposed to be gone. And what happened was they were supposed to get me the tracking numbers for us to upload, and I didn't have tracking numbers, and I hit them up. It's like, guys, what's going on? And so it's like they had not transferred the things over. So those did not go yesterday over to ground. So those should be traveling.
Is that going to be the same with T6?
T6-2, that was the one that was anticipated, but again, they got into the labels and they figured out the label file was corrupted. They kind of, look forward as, okay, this will be shipped out, but they got into the labels. They sent me an email last night saying we had a label problem. What do you want us to do? And I just said, dump the whole file. Let's not take any risks. And I spent my morning regenerating the label files. So files get corrupted once in a while. We've had it happen before, both here and in Europe also.
How about C19?
C19 is good to go.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So we'll push for more information before we jump the gun on those in the next update. Sorry for the miscommunication there. T6-1 and T6-2 are shipping out. They have not shipped.
Yep.
Cool. Thank you.
Yep. Full disclosure.
What else you got?
You want more? Okay. So C20, that is at FedEx. We're waiting for that one to start processing. And again, with T6-1 and T6-2, a little bit of delay. Again, they are overloaded at FedEx Freight right now. So again, like we said, the logistics issues of over demand continue to push us back a little bit. T7-1, the Cusco Taitang.
Better.
We need that one to unload, so I can stop trying to pronounce that. So that's basically sitting it's anchored outside of Long Beach. It's been there since last week, and we're just waiting for that to berth and move along. That is 225 baby makers. Pro Orange uppers are in there. So if you're looking for that, that is on that. T7-2 and T7-3, the OOCL Luxembourg. Still sailing, made a second stop in China. I think 6/16 is the date we have. It keeps bouncing back and forth, 14/16, we'll see. But that's the most recent date we have for that one. Sterling droppers in that, Pro 19 blue raspberry uppers on those, and we'll continue to update that one. And again, you can always go on marinetraffic.com and you can track all these. It's kind of interesting. And if you really zoom into, the ports, you see, or even zoom out, you see how much sea traffic there really is. It's a real eye opener about global logistics. C22, South China Sea, CSCL South China Sea. That is due 6/10. It's right to Canada, and then it'll probably be another week before it's down here. So it's right off Prince Rupert right now and waiting to dock. If it hasn't already, I didn't check it since yesterday. And then another week, and that will be down here. So I know there's a lot of anticipation for that one also. We will be adding next week C23, possibly C24, and T8. And these are some of the last shipments of baby makers that'll be coming to the United States. I've already started the allocation on those. As soon as those hit the water, we'll go ahead and put out the allocation letters. Don't have ships assigned to those yet, but as soon as we have them, we'll put the letters out so you guys can track where your bikes are at. No update on Hawaii. I think last week we talked about it. We put two pallets of roughly 13 bikes to see. So those are on the way. If you have tracking, again, tracking does not become active until it gets received into FedEx ground in Hawaii. So it'll show label created, but as long as it's in the FedEx freight system, which is what it is when it's on the water going to Hawaii, those tracking numbers are not active. But if you have them, that means it is moving your direction.
Awesome.
More? Any other?
Oh yeah, we got questions for you. All right. N. Andrews, I got my address confirmation on the 7th of June. How long for UK delivery after this email confirmation?
So the next thing you will get after, if you are, is he in the UK?
UK, yeah.
Oh, okay. So the next thing you will get is you will get a VAT letter. So that'll be coming. I think that means you are, if you got on the 7th of June, that's probably SP8. So that will be in tomorrow at Big Web Warehouse. We'll get it destuffed. We will get the VAT letters out. So as soon as you pay your VAT, owing to time differences and such, I pull out the bank information. I find all the payments. I prepare a label file and move it along. So if you pay your VAT promptly, probably have your bike maybe late next week, as early as late next week, if that makes sense.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. Again, you got to pay your VAT. It's done different ways in different places. In Canada, GST, it kind of sails right through, and then they bill them after the fact. But in UK, we actually have to collect the VAT before we send the bike.
Great. Nihar Bhat says, any updates on orders placed through the website July 2020? This is an extremely long wait time to suppress excitement.
Wait, where are you? I'm sorry.
Orders placed through FLX website July 2020. Any updates on those?
Again, it's going to depend on the bike, and I mean we've pushed a lot of website orders out. In fact, the majority of orders going out right now are website orders. Again, owing to the fact that by the time you got to July, the Indiegogo orders had heavily tapered off because of the campaign, and the website orders had come in. So as we work through, again, the last set of labels, I would say probably 60% of those were website orders. And we are sending out, we're not doing, I don't think we've been doing allocation letters for those, but of course we always do address verifications. So if you hit up support at flx.bike, we can figure out where your bike is at.
All right.
Again, it's real hard to go by date because it depends on what model you want. In some cases, there are some models we've fulfilled everything, including bikes that were ordered, November of last year, just because it was a small quantity model.
Great. And he has a follow-up here. And this is why I personally would recommend against hitting up support at FLX.bike asking when your bike is coming, unless you've received an allocation letter, because they don't know, we don't know. Unfortunately, until that bike is built, there's just too many variables in the process to be able to say, hey, your bike's on this shipment or whatever. Once it's built, absolutely, we can do a lot for you. But until then, we can't really say. We're doing our best to fulfill by order date and time, and we're doing that. However, sometimes there'll be a shortage of this color or this frame, etc., and we'll have to make adjustments. So we don't want to give any false promises or anything like that. The best we can do is once the bike is built, we allocate it to you and then tell you, okay, it's on its way. So Nihar, that's why in your next question you say you've had 10 email inquiries about a shipment and 10 no update or info responses using the same email template each time. It's totally accurate. Unfortunately, we don't have that specific information for every order that has not yet been built. All of the components have been ordered to build them, but they are waiting because there's a long list of back orders before you to complete building before your individual bike can be shipped. So that's the reason we can't give a specific time for orders that have not completed building just yet. All right, Troy, what else you got?
There's not a whole lot else. Like I said, we cleared container 12. Those are going out. Touring kits. So we had, I think we talked about this before, the touring kits. We're trying to get those to sea. The thing was we're splitting up the touring kits to go to 2 different locations. Now they're going to 1, but there's also a bunch of other parts, loose fenders and all the parts that are racks, all the parts that are in the touring package. We also are going to have available individually for replacements, or if people just want to buy certain parts of the touring package. So those are all getting labeled up and part numbered and all of that to move those on. So hopefully those are going to be on the water again, go through the normal amount of logistics that finding a ship and the rest of that. So more of those challenges, but they are being worked. Low volume locations, not a whole lot of update there. We've pumped in a bunch of tracking numbers. There's a few left. There's one Vietnam order and I think a Japan order I don't have tracking for. I'm still trying to get those. A few people in Korea that haven't provided the personal customs clearance codes, or Taiwan and national IDs, are trying to chase those down. But those are all like individual cases. Other than that, those countries have all shipped. If you have a tracking number, it may not show as active because I think you mentioned they may go through several carriers, and a lot of these are going on the water to get where they're going. The tracking is going to be active until they actually get through customs, and then you'll start seeing those tracking numbers be active.
So a good example of that is somebody who's watching now, Chris Link in Indonesia. That's a good example. It's a low volume location. I believe that goes by water and then changes hands. So he's probably likely not seeing active tracking on that until the final leg to his door.
Tracking number is hard and complicated to open. There should be a link with it. That's the www.56 something or other.
56 track or 51 track.
Something like that. Yeah, I mean, those tracking numbers should be working for you. You can use the Google Translate to read the site and the rest of it. But again, until it's off the water and through, you're probably not going to see anything happening with that tracking number. But I think you're telling me you do have a tracking number, so they are moving. It's just the time that it takes to get across the water and get through customs.
Sweet. All right, let's find any other pressing questions for you.
Okay, Jorge, thank you. 9880, I got that, so I don't have to go look it up by name. It saves me a
Great.
little bit of time. We'll track that one down. We'll figure out what's going on
Awesome.
with that.
All right, Danny Griffiths. I received my address confirmation 2 days ago for delivery to Netherlands. Does that mean I'm in NL4 or SP8?
2 days ago, I think that would be SP8. Let's see here. 6-4. Yeah, that would be SP8.
Awesome. And these are probably going to go out around the same time just because of the
Yeah.
lag on the carrier.
Yeah, once we get a carrier, then there's going to be, it's going to look like a gopher going through a snake. So a whole bunch of bikes are going to, it's going to be, really probably close to 300 plus bikes that are going to hit, or be headed towards Europe about the same time.
Awesome. All right, final question for you,
Yep.
Troy. From Tony, what about C20? Are the FedEx labels going out this week?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. That one's at FedEx. Like I said, they're backed up a little bit. It should. That was our anticipation. Again, we prepare the update on Monday. We kind of look forward to where we're at, and sometimes the situation changes a little bit on us. C20 should be. I'll just say that those labels they do have the container. We'll get an update on that, but yes, those should be shipping this week. It's only Wednesday. T6-1 should be out. They should be moving out today. T6-2, I just gave them labels and they had C20 to work, so I would say those should be shipping this week.
Fantastic. All right, Troy.
Is that it?
That's everything I got for you.
Oh, wow.
Thanks so much for the update and the hard work.
Thanks for making me look like I have a tan.
And that means I'm extra white, I guess.
Yeah, well, maybe one of these days you'll let me go outside.
All right, Troy. Big round of applause. All right. So we got about 10 minutes before Jason comes in. Jason, by the way, is our head mechanic here. He's here to answer any mechanical related questions you may have regarding the Baby Maker, our electric bikes, or maybe customizations you'd like to make on those. So I saw a few questions on that. I will save those for him when he gets in here. And we do have some catch up to do from the questions that were not Troy questions while he was in here. So starting there with Chris in Indonesia. Hi, Rob. Good to see you again. Just would like to ask about my Phantom backpack. Still not received until today. So, Chris, I believe you asked about that in the last live or the live before that, and at which time I brought that up with the Miles fulfillment team. They mentioned they sent that out at a similar time to when you asked about it. It can take a few weeks to get to Indonesia, though, due to the complicated shipping network. I will follow up with them after this live just to check. Do you have a tracking number for that? Nihar, we got yours. And Chris, you mentioned your emails have not been answered by FLX support team. That is not acceptable. We don't ignore emails. Please make sure you're emailing hello@flx.bike. There can be a little bit of wait time, 1 to 2 business days generally between when you email us and when we can respond. But there definitely should not be emails going to us that are unanswered. So I'll ask them about that as well. Nahar, got yours. Trevnod, I addressed this earlier, but just to repeat your question, why move all EU shipping to UK if you are having these courier problems? Doesn't make much sense to me to go back the way again with the bikes. Trevnod, I'm totally with you on that. We're going to the UK and then back into Europe. Nobody wants to do that. It's something our accountants have let us know we have to do to avoid some duties in EU for the EU customers, so they don't have to pay extra duties to either minimize or completely eliminate that for customers in the EU. So that decision is solely based on saving you money and also streamlining things a little bit. Having just one fulfillment center is great, but we would not be doing that if it were not for the recommendation of the accountants and the goal of saving you money in the overall cost of your bike. Danny Griffiths. We got yours. Great with Troy. Ray, a mechanical question. So Ray's asking about some people have reported feeling a drag in pedal assist level 1 and 2. I'm going to ask that when Jason is in here. We can discuss that once he's in here in about 8 minutes here. From Chris, I bought different color cloud wheels again for myself. Just need to ask if the metal thing should be put inside both the inner and outer ring inside the cloud wheel. Is that correct? So Chris, it sounds like you're talking about our Phantom skateboard from Miles Board, and with new wheels. Generally, you'll see a metal spacer in between the two bearings. Those are the two inner and outer rings of the cloud wheel. So yes, if it's in there, you definitely want to put it inside in between those two bearings. If it didn't come with one, you won't need to worry about it. Some of them have it, some of them don't. Tony, we got yours. John, I got the allocation email and shipping email a while ago. Thought on T6-1, but still no tracking info. Problem now is no one will be home next week, Monday through Saturday. So John Train, we discussed this a little bit earlier with Troy in here. In case you missed it, we jumped the gun on yesterday's update. We said that T6-1 and T6-2 have shipped out from FedEx. That was based on a misunderstanding. We're going to not repeat this mistake again. Those were shipping, not shipped. So FedEx was handling them, and we were under the impression they had completely handled them. That was not true. So a lot of those are still with FedEx, and they are working on shipping them out. They are shipping now. They have not completely shipped out from FedEx. So please hang tight on the tracking for T6-1 and T6-2. All right, from George, can I buy just the rear rack for my F5 Trail? Great question, George. I would go to the components section on our website where you can look up components now based on your bike model, which is really cool. If you don't see it there, please email our support team, hello@flx.bike, and they can help you find out if we've got any coming in, etc. If we don't have any, you can always find a universal rack that you can put on any bike. All right. Joey, hello, gentlemen. Appreciate you making the time to address our questions. If my order is on back order, how can I go about canceling my order and be refunded? It's been over 8 months. Thank you. Joey, unfortunately, we cannot accept refunds on the pre-orders. We try to make that as clear as possible on the campaign. When you order a bike, you get a bike. The reason for that is with the crowdfunding, we take the funds from the crowdfunding and we put that directly into building your bike based on what you ordered. We order all the components, put that into production, and there is an indeterminate amount of time and how long it will take to build. That's kind of the dual-edged sword of crowdfunding. Part of the beauty of it is there are a lot of unknowns because it's a new product. But as soon as it's done, we ship the product to you. So long story short, order a bike, get a bike. And we're almost done, Joey. We are, let me see here, the official number, 80, I'm on the wrong page. I think we're 87% shipped. Yeah, 87% shipped worldwide, 97% shipped to the U.S. That's bikes that have shipped out from our factory, not necessarily delivered just yet, but on the final stretch here, we're almost at home plate. We've rounded third base. We're almost there, Joey. It won't be very long before your bike arrives with you. From Ray, I love the workout. I get riding my baby maker. Pleasantly surprised. I dig that the motor doesn't do all the work. Awesome ride. Ray, so excited to hear about that. I'm glad you're enjoying the ride. And that's one of the beautiful things about electric bikes is that you get to choose as much or as little exercise as you want. However you're feeling, you pick the pedal assist level that works for you. Joey, order is a Baby Maker Pro. Got you. Trev Nod, no worries. We got you covered. James, did I hear correct that web orders don't get allocation letters? That's what I heard from Troy as well, James. We do, however, send address confirmation emails. So you'll get an address confirmation email when we send those out saying, hey, here's your order. This is the address we've got for you. Please confirm it before we send it out so we don't send it to the wrong place. Ding, hey Rob, will you be offering some live support like this once all bikes are delivered? Would be very useful for mechanical questions from customers who receive their baby makers in the final weeks. Ding, we do provide live support every Monday, specifically mechanical related support. So that's a great question. Every Monday from 1 to 9 p.m. Pacific time, our mechanic Mark is online on live chat. For any mechanical related questions, you can hop on and ask him. He'll be able to cover those. After all these bikes get shipped out, we'll probably be doing these lives much less frequently. They do take up an incredible amount of time between that and the production updates, but you guys do deserve to be informed for certain. So I can't promise I'm going to be doing these lives weekly as much as I love doing them. We do have a lot of work to do coming up, but we do have the live support from a mechanic every Monday, 1 through 9 p.m. Jorge, Rob, I hope this is about the bike to the Canary Islands. He says the issue is the lack of some documents from us. Got it. Jorge, Troy is working on that for you. Mike Mecklenburg. Okay, I rode my Baby Maker Pro on level 5 and I got 20 miles, one charge with 3 big hills. I'm loving the bike and riding back and forth to work, which is 6.2 miles round trip per day. Mike, that's awesome. Really cool. I'm wondering if you ran it all the way dry in 20 miles. That's pretty good. That's really good for level 5, just blasting through it. If you put it into a lower level, you get more range, obviously, but 20 miles in a day is enough for most people, myself included. I don't like to do crazy long rides anymore. I just like to blast there and back. Jorge, I've tried to phone FLX Bike in San Diego a week ago, and I couldn't talk with anybody. I'm doing my best to solve the issue, but I cannot do more. If the problem is solved traveling to Barcelona and picking it up by myself, it's not a problem for me and everything's solved. Then it's my problem to send it to the Canary Islands. Jorge, Troy is going to be working on this for you. We will get to the bottom of it. I understand shipping to the Canary Islands can be a bit of a challenge, so huge apologies if you feel like you're getting a runaround here from the carrier. That's not our intention at all. Troy's going to put specific attention onto your specific bike, so we will get that solved. We'll figure it out, and we'll come up with a solution for you to make sure it does get to you. If we need to reroute it somewhere where you can pick it up, that's always on the table as well. Nicholas, stay strong. I'm in Switzerland. I see that Europe is progressive. Any idea on when Switzerland will be able to celebrate a baby maker arrival? Nicholas, we have been shipping to Switzerland. We've had many bikes delivered in Switzerland so far. We do have a bit of a holdup right now due to the fact that we've had to switch fulfillment from going from the Netherlands now to going from the UK, and there's just a bit of a holdup on securing the final carrier for the move from the UK into Europe and also Switzerland as well. As I understand, it's a bit different in Switzerland, right? So we're still a few days out on securing that final carrier and moving these bikes, but there is a bit of a backlog of bikes now that are ready to go. They've all been built. They're just at the warehouse waiting for that carrier to finalize and ship them out. So that's going to be very soon here. We'll keep you updated on that, Nicholas. Franco, hey Rob, patiently waiting for my baby maker in New York City, ship name Ningbo. Franco, hey, thank you for your patience. We really appreciate it. I'm glad you do have a ship name on that. I don't know exactly which one is the Ningbo, the ship name. I can try and pull up my notes from these past production updates just to get more information, but it should be just around the corner for you. Let's see here. I'm going to try and pull up those notes in the background because I put it in the video, but just a highlights on the text. Chris, I have sent few emails to support at FLX and no one replied until today. Okay, I'm glad somebody replied to you today. We do have the weekend off, and then it can take a couple days to get caught up sometimes on emails. So especially if you've emailed on a Friday, late on Friday or on the weekend, keep in mind there's nobody doing tickets on the weekend. We do work Monday through Friday, so it can take a little bit of time to get through that weekend, get to Monday, and get caught up on the tickets. Chris Link, I'm going to take a picture with my 2 baby maker bikes in front of my koi pond by the time they arrive. Awesome, Chris. I love koi fish. They're great. From Phil, I've been playing with gearing on my Pro, changed front ring and belt. I can climb and start off better, but kind of killed the spirit of the bike. You chose right as delivered. Kudos. Phil, it sounds like you put a smaller front chain ring on your baby maker, which for the folks not too familiar with that, what that's going to do is give you a lower top speed but higher torque and acceleration. So I'm sure you're going to be climbing hills better, accelerating off the line faster, but like you said, slower top speeds. So thank you. Glad you recognize we did try and go for a balance there on the chain ring that we chose. All right, everybody, please welcome Jason to the live.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
How you doing, man?
Hey, got a haircut this week. First one in 10 months.
Wow.
Super fresh. I know if you guys don't recognize me, don't worry, it's still me.
Can you get a little bit closer to that microphone just to put us both in focus?
For sure.
You dropped my toilet paper.
Sorry, man.
Man.
Touch it with my dirty
You don't want to
hands,
know what
too.
I've been doing in here with that. All right, I've got some questions for you.
Okay.
Let's see. This is from Ray Ueno. Can you talk about the drag issue in pedal assist 1 and 2? It came up in the Facebook group. Is it normal to feel the bike drag in a lower pedal assist level? And how do you tell if it's a problem with the controller?
That's a really excellent question. So anytime there is actually an issue with the controller itself, there are diagnostic steps that I would follow. Sometimes those steps can be, I guess, a little bit difficult to explain. It takes a lot of my pattern of thinking over the last 10 years and working on these things to really put together when it's a controller problem. That is the brain of the bike, and it literally is the cross section or the intersection for so many different functions. Figuring out what may be malfunctioning, if it is malfunctioning, can take some thought and definitely necessity of knowledge. So just to touch on that. As far as the drag in pedal assist 1 and 2, it is an electric motor. My question that would come up for pedal assist 1 or 2 and experiencing the drag feeling, is it when you are just coasting along, or is it when you're actually pedaling and you're sensing some kind of drag while the motor is propelling you? It seems a little bit counterintuitive to think that it might propel you and give drag. But if you are pedaling and it doesn't seem in levels 1 and 2 like it's giving you a lot of propulsion, you got to keep in mind the way that the system works, electronic or DC system works, is by battery's voltage pushing amperage. Levels 1 and 2, the amperage that's actually being pushed out is going to be quite low. The multiplier between voltage and amperage is the power output. It's called wattage. In pedal assist levels 1 and 2, you're going to have the same voltage, but it's going to be pushing a very low amount of amperage, resulting in a very low amount of wattage or power output. And this can seem like it's not really kicking in or giving you a lot of boost. Just kind of a function of those pedal levels. You're going to do some more working out. But if it is something where you're riding the bike in level 1 and 2, you start coasting, meaning you're just rolling along, not pedaling the bike, so no motor activity, you will experience definitely some drag in that scenario, as it's an electric motor. The way an electric motor works is with 2 sets of magnets. One set of magnets rotates inside of the other one. When the motor is not active, the motor magnets are pulling against each other. When the motor is active, or once you start pedaling, the polarity on those magnets is reversed and they start pushing off of each other, and that's how it propels you. So it is something that you're going to feel when not pedaling, while those magnets are pulling towards each other as they're not being activated. I know it's a long answer, and I apologize, but it's a tough question.
I can give a personal anecdote on that. I won't get as technical as Jay, but when I first started riding electric bikes, I only use level 5 or nothing. Like, if I've got power, I'm going to use 100% of it.
Yeah.
And then going from that and trying out levels 1 or 2 or with no power, it feels like you're riding through the mud. It feels like you got rocks on your feet, like somebody's pulling a rope on you, just because of the vast difference between having 100% of the power and having 10, 20% of the power. Yeah. It feels like you're riding really slow because you don't have all that help from the motor. And so I think a lot of what we might be seeing is just that. Hey, on 5, I'm fucking flying. Excuse my French. But on 2, it feels slow. That's what I've experienced. It's not necessarily drag, just a big difference between how much power you're experiencing in those levels.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's an excellent way to explain it. Thank you for clarifying. He said the same thing, guys. I just said it way too technical, I think.
All right. From Ray, he says, "Hey, Rob, I was climbing a steep hill and came upon 2 normal bikers, rang my little baby maker bell, and smoked them.
That's what I'm talking about."
They couldn't sneer at me because they didn't know it was an e-bike. That's funny.
Love to hear that.
He said, it's not cheating, it's fun. I love it.
That was the comment I was actually just going to touch on, was the cheater. As you ride by a lot of the road cyclists, I've gotten this about 1 million times. You fly by them, and in the back distance, you hear, "Cheater, cheater, cheater."
That's funny.
So Baby Maker is killing it. The stealth e-bike is the way to go for sure.
Awesome. And Ray has a follow-up. He says, "Good explanation. You totally described how it feels. I figured it's normal." Cool.
Nice.
All right, Chris has a question for you for Jason. So what is the exact size for seat post and extension or riser stem if I want to modify them?
So 2-part question, right? Seat post and then a riser stem?
Correct.
Okay. It's a good question. I would say reach out to rider support. I don't have my technical spec sheet in front of me. It would be wonderful if I could remember every size of every part on the bikes. But we have 8 models right now.
Yeah.
We also have incoming build, like on the weapon. My mind cannot store that much info. Rider support, though, can absolutely get you the technical info, the sizing that you're looking for. I would reach out and ask to either speak to myself or to Mark, and we will get you that direct answer. I'm sorry I don't have the spec sheet in front of me now.
Great. I can do half of it. The seat post is 30.4.
30.4,
the
that's
extension I don't have offhand.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, Jay, that's all the questions I got for you.
Cool, man. That was nice and easy today.
Hell yeah. Hey, appreciate you coming in here. Thanks for the hard work, and keep it up.
Yeah, thank you.
Big round of applause. I think we might actually finish this live on time today. If you've got any final questions before we wrap it up, please send them now or forever hold your peace, at least until next week. All right, I have missed a couple of questions while Jay was in here. Let's see, from Christopher, greetings from Chula Vista. I bought a baby maker in October. Any word? And can I come from Chula Vista to try a baby maker? So, Christopher, unfortunately, I can't give you an exact estimate on your specific order, which is from October. We are building them right now. We're almost completely built, almost completely shipped. So it should be very, very soon when you get it. I would say before July 31st, based on your order date. And as far as testing one of those, you're in Chula Vista, very close to us. Come into our showroom. If you look up FLX Bike on Google Maps, you'll find us. You can come in and try a baby maker anytime. We're open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. till 5 p.m. We'd love to have you in the shop to try one out before yours arrives. All right, Chris says, thanks, Jason. Thanks, Rob, for all this time. Live Q&A. You are rocks. Bless you and FLX team always. Christopher, cool. Christopher, looking forward to having you in the shop. Wow, it's 2:57. We're a bit ahead of schedule. Any last questions before we wrap it up? I got to pick my music here today. Let's see what we're going to end with. All right, I think that's a wrap. Not many questions today compared to normal. I think that means a lot of baby makers have been delivered or some clarity has come through way of allocation emails, shipping notifications, etc. As mentioned, we are 87% shipped worldwide, 97% shipped in the US, 56% in the UK, 49% in EU, 96% Canada, 96% New Zealand, 96% Australia, 87% low volume locations. Again, 87% shipped worldwide. Vast majority of locations will be completely shipped by July 31st. EU and UK are tight on that deadline, but we continue the push there. So thank you, everybody, so much for your patience, for hanging tight, for keeping the faith in us delivering these bikes to you. We love you. And don't forget to subscribe, like, comment. We'll see you in the next one.